The debate happened last night, and of course, we had some surprises and I think a lot of impact on the crypto community as well as the crypto markets going forward. There's a lot of things happening right now. We'll try to break some of this down for you, so make sure and stick around. It's going to be very detailed to our focus on crypto. So my name is Paul Barrow. Welcome back into Tech Path. Let's get into it. I want to thank our sponsor, and that is iTrust Capital. If you're looking at long-term holding and you want to get into a crypto IRA, this is the way to do it. Go over to iTrust Capital's website. You can do everything over there. Buy, sell, gold, silver, get into Bitcoin, Ethereum, all sorts of altcoins, all of that available on the iTrust platform. And guess what? There is no monthly fees. So it's very easy to join. You can roll over an IRA that you might have that's already existing, as well as start a brand new one, get great tax benefits. So check it out. Also, of course, consult your own financial planner out there to get started. And if you use our link, you get a $100 funding reward. So make sure and use that down in the link below. All right, so after the debate, we started to see numbers come in. And I think this is something because it addresses really what we focus on, as you guys know, is a single issue. And that is, how are administrations going to deal with crypto technology and innovation going forward? Because this is what matters to us. And we took a look at a lot of clips, really trying to understand what would benefit the crypto community the most. So I think we've broken it down for you guys to give you a full understanding. First up, who won the debate? Obviously, I think everybody knows if you were watching it at all. Trump came in with a resounding win. This came, of course, from the CNN poll numbers. Even with the margin of error at 5.5, that would still be a significant win for President Trump. So a pretty big issue. I think as we go forward, we're going to look at maybe a new strategy that could play into the scenario. And this is the thing that I'll talk about here in a second. But I feel like that pretty much showed the hands for the Democrats. And what that simply means is that will we be facing, when I say we, the crypto community, will we be facing an administration that is pro-crypto or against crypto in November? I think that's the real question coming forward after last night's debate. However, the real debate that took place was this one right here. And this, of course, was RFK Jr. I want you to notice something, 6.8 million views right there. This was the debate that was occurring. I tuned into this, was kind of going back and forth. I was very impressed with RFK and the way he addressed. Basically, what he was doing was counter-answering what the CNN commentators were doing, giving his opinion and his approach toward those kind of things. So if you haven't watched it, go back and watch that now. It was a very, I think, compelling position. And he was the only candidate that mentioned crypto. So everybody was wrong. We thought Trump would do it. He did not. And he had a few points in time where when he was talking about innovation and being able to bring the country forward, I think he could have dropped something in there about blockchain and Bitcoin in general and crypto that would have been aligned nicely. And I think it would have appeased a little bit of this audience for sure. I want to go to this first clip. This clip is getting into RFK's debate and the fact that it might have been more entertaining than even the Trump-Biden debate. Listen in.
I just won 2 club championships, not even senior, 2 regular club championships. To do that, you have to be quite smart and you have to be able to hit the ball a long way. And I do it. He doesn't do it. He can't hit a ball 50 yards. He challenged me to a golf match. He can't hit a ball 50 yards.
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6.
That's the biggest lie, that he's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I had, how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
All I'm going to say is I hope they let me on the stage for that contest.
That would be a good one. Of course, if you guys don't know, I mean, RFK, he's a little bit jacked. This guy's in good shape, so I think he might win that driving contest. But hey, listen, in real addressing, the biggest key is inflation. Inflation, of course, is one of our biggest challenges here in the crypto community because it is affecting how the markets react, and how the markets react, of course, affects crypto prices. It affects crypto innovation, a lot of new projects. RFK had a position on inflation. Listen to what he had to say.
He inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing.
And there's another example of why this debate is a problem, because these two men are the people who ran up the deficit that is causing the inflation. President Trump came into office promising to balance the budget. Instead, he spent more money in office than every president in United States history combined. President Biden, he's already run up $6.3 trillion in debt. That's why we have inflation. That's why we have $4 milk, $4 bread, $6 gasoline. This is existential. This is one of the problems that neither of these two will talk about. This is the reason that they need me on stage, because I would confront them with what they did. They were the ones who ran up half of this deficit. We'll never deal with inflation if we don't deal with the money printing problem, and neither of them are going to do it.
Money printing.
This would be, I think, one of the biggest challenges of any campaign. And of course, that is trying to adjust out to the point of inflation. But I think the bigger point that RFK is getting to is very clear, and that is, how do you, really stifle the money printing? That means rampant changes through the government. Now, he had a clip also that talks specifically about blockchain and AI. Listen in.
I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He could look you in the face about so many other things, too. In Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie.
If Trump is reelected, we're likely to have a recession.
Again, a very important question, Dodge. Social Security is going bankrupt. What would you cut?
I'm going to cut the military budget in half during my first 4 years. I'm going to use AI and blockchain to eliminate waste in government to save more money. And ultimately, that's going to save us a lot of money. And this has to be a priority for us.
That would have been so easy for either Biden or even Trump to say. The problem is I'm not sure either one of them really understand it. So RFK has a real action plan, and there are solutions that I think he's in place. Now, can they be implemented? Remember, it takes a cabinet and a lot of bureaucrats to be able to make that actually happen. So that is still an issue kind of going forward. I want to go to another clip real quick. This one gets into how the media responded to the debate, because this is where it gets very interesting, and it could change the format going forward. Take a look.
Joe Biden had one thing he had to do tonight, and he didn't do it. I don't know if things can be done to fix this. Based on what I'm hearing from a lot of people, and some of them are people that are in high elective offices in this country, and you might guess where they serve, I do think people feel like that we are confronting a crisis.
Panic inside the Democratic Party right now because of President Biden's performance in tonight's debate. What do you say to that?
Lindsay, I'd say a slow start, but a good and strong finish. It was a slow start. There's no question about that, but I thought it was a strong finish.
There is panic that has set in. There is panic that has set in. Do you think it's unfounded?
Well, I think it's unhelpful. You don't turn your back because of one performance.
But was there one moment that you think sticks?
Well, it's difficult to assess. I need a little bit more objectivity and time away from this. We've all had those nights. All of us, not one person watching, hasn't had those nights.
Well, we've not all been in presidential debates.
But it's not about debates.
I would have to disagree. I think the reality set in last night, in the sense that this was already happening. Everybody's been talking about this for the last year. And it just came out in front of America last night. But the bigger concern, I think, is it came out in front of the world. I think that's the big point that we have to focus on. The other thing is you look at the voters, because I think voters now are maybe looking at this a little bit differently. And I think that will, of course, push the Democrats into a new strategy and into a new plan. Take a look at this clip.
How many here would have made it past 3 questions in this debate before turning the TV off? 1.
I thought the debate was for solutions. And you're talking about golfing right now? And who has the better swing?
It's like Sophie's choice, but reverse. I don't want to make either choice.
The whole finger pointing, well, you did this and you did that, and
Trump, hell no. And Biden, it's like, oh no. It's just open convention.
Open convention. And again, how do you all feel about RFK?
No comment. I have no comment on him because I haven't really looked over his plan or what he plans to do or heard too much about him. I saw a petition around trying to get him on the ballot, but that's about it.
So I like the one statement, Trump, hell no, and Biden, oh no, because that does mean that we're going to most likely get a replacement for Mr. Biden. And of course, that changes what would that look like. Here is Vivek talking a little bit more about what that theory is and what could happen. Take a look.
I believe the other side actually knows what they're doing. If they get another nominee too early, that's enough time for vetting, enough time for the honeymoon phase to fade. But if they're swapping in another nominee in August, say right around the time of the convention, that's the best case scenario for them because you get the honeymoon phase with the new candidate without the scrutiny that comes with it. This is the earliest presidential debate in American history, and the first ever, to my knowledge, that has taken place before the nominating convention of either party. Ask yourself why they're doing it, and more importantly, ask yourself why the Democrats made it a condition of Biden debating that they place that date that early. Regardless of which puppet they put up, we have to decide what we stand for as conservatives and as Americans. That's how we're going to win this election, not by fixating on Biden, because there's a good chance it may not even be him.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with that. I think after last night, it pretty much seals the fate of President Biden in the sense that most likely this will go into an open convention. And who knows what's going to happen at that point. That's where it gets very risky for crypto. And it also pretty much tallies into the next point. And that is, don't forget, there is one major problem in the administration, especially the current administration, and how it's approaching crypto. And that, of course, has always been led and dominated by Senator Warren. This is a clip that kind of breaks it down, brings it back home to reality in understanding what matters most to the crypto community. Take a look.
Senator Elizabeth Warren and her office coordinated testimony with the Security and Exchange Commission ahead of a Senate hearing. Get this, a list of questions along with suggested answers for the chairman of the SEC. 2 days later, she sent a follow-up, quote, "Let me know if it's looking like the chair has any issue with the framing of the questions. Definitely don't want to put him in a tough spot," end quote. Senator Warren asked almost verbatim from the email.
Chair Gensler, advocates say crypto markets are all about financial inclusion, but the people who are most economically vulnerable are the ones who are most likely to have to withdraw their money the fastest when the market drops. Does this sound like the path to financial inclusion to you?
All right, so you guys remember these. These are the kind of scenarios that we painted for quite some time to explain what the administration and the construct is being built around the, kind of taking crypto and blockchain as a whole and demonizing it. So don't forget, there's a clip right here that kind of reinforces John Deaton's position, who is going directly head-to-head with Senator Warren. And you need to vote for John. If you're up in that area, this is the guy you want. Take a look at this clip.
Hey, everybody, I really need your help. We have 5 days until the end of the quarter on June 30th. Look, I put $1 million of my own money in this campaign because I know I can defeat Elizabeth Warren if I'm given the opportunity. And my goal when I put $1 million in was you take small dollar donations that small retail holders could cumulatively match that $1 million. And we're about halfway there, so thank you so much. Listen, if I could afford to fund this entire campaign, I would do it because this election is that important. If you can give again, please do. If you haven't, please consider going to JohnDeatonForSenate.com. We got this. We can make a difference.
So there you have it. I think this is one of the races that's going to matter the most going forward. It'll be less and less, I think, around the president. Sure, yes, if we get a pro-crypto candidate, it is going to be a good thing for crypto in general. So if you're not on our Diamond Circle, make sure and get in right now. It's a great place to get additional content. It's also a place to keep caught up on all these things. There's a lot of changes and movement in the markets right now. We'll continue to bring that to you. Make sure and follow me out there on X, @Paul Barron. We'll catch you next time right here on Tech Path.